pieces as well. But we have a new listing today, and it is a listing from an old company itself. NIIT's Learning Systems business makes its debut on the stock exchanges today as a separate independent entity. We have Rajendra S Pawar, who's the executive chairman and founder of NIIT, joining in to discuss their post-listing plans. Thanks a lot, Mr. Pawar, for joining in, and congratulations on this listing. I just wanted to understand what exactly is the business plan for this vertical going forward. I mean, back of the envelope calculations suggest that you could do close to around 1650 crores in revenues in this year, but say 3 to 5 years from now, what exactly is the sizing up plan of this business? Mr. Pawar? All right, I think we'll get Mr. Pawar back, but just to give you some perspective, the revenue last year for this business was close to 1,362 odd crores, with a 20% growth that the company posted, and EBITDA margins of around 23% as well. Analysts calculate around 1650 crores revenues coming in this year itself. We have Mr. Pawar back with us. Mr. Pawar, this year this business is likely to do around 1600 to 1650 crores in the top line. But from a 3 to 5 year perspective, what's your plan for sizing this business up?
Well, being in the results period, we have to be mindful of what we mentioned. But looking at the outlook, I think you're looking at the next 5 years. So this business used to be running at 15% growth, 15% margin for a while as we were gearing up. But now it's come to a 20% revenue growth per year plus and a 20% EBITDA plus. So we are in that range, and therefore it's possible for us to see how this goes forward. But let me say that we do expect to see a better growth, because now this business, which is listed as NIIT MTS today, now has the freedom and flexibility to accelerate. It has more agility, it has its own capital, and it's got a very clear direction. I think it's taken us this time since we did the first contract of managed training services in 2009 to a point where we have more than 80 customers among the global 500 and Fortune 1000. Very well-defined segment, 100% renewal rate for the last couple of years.
Yes.
And so I think everything is going very well, and now it has the flexibility to accelerate beyond this. It has the capital as well.
All right. Hi, Mr. Pawar. First of all, congratulations on this new listing and on your vision as well going ahead. Now, just going roughly by the numbers that you're giving us, for this year, maybe you'll do around 1,600 crores approximately. And we know you're in silent period, so we don't want any near-term numbers. We want a broader outlook. Say in the next 3 to 5 years, what is the targeted revenues you can scale up this business to? Point number one. And also on the margin front, the last quarter of last year, I think the margins were in mid-20s. But on a steady state, you're talking about margins of around 20%. Why is that? And also global peers, what kind of margin band do they function
Yeah,
at?
we're saying upward.
Upwards.
Yeah, so first of all, thanks so much. It's a very special moment for us. As you know, it is the third listing in our life. We listed NIIT Limited in 1993, NIIT Tech then in 2004. So this is the third entity. So it's a very special moment for us. But yes, coming back to your question, I would say that, and I'd repeat what I was saying, that when we were building out the business, it was running at 15% revenue and op margin. And now it's crossed the 2020 level. So I think when we look at the outlook, there are vagaries, so we want to stay with this picture. And as I mentioned, now that this has its own route to make, it has the flexibility, it has its own capital, and it has a very good tailwind. So barring the little things that happen every now and then in the lives of companies, and we've been at it for 41 years, we expect that we can look forward to a 20 by 20 plus on both dimensions. So you can make your calculations from there.
Yeah, I've made the calculation. So by 2028, approximately going by the run rate that you're talking about, it should be at least 3,000 crores of revenues.
Well, yes, that plus more. That plus more, because we're just compounding it, and it comes to around 3,300 to 3,500 odd crores. 3 years from now, your revenue is between 2,800 to 3,000 odd crores. And 4 years from now, it goes to 3,300 to 3,500 odd crores. We've made those calculations. Again, Mr. Pawar, you said
the interesting thing to see.
Yeah, go ahead.
Interesting thing to see is that whenever there's been a discontinuity in our 40 years, it's been an interesting time to recast things. And this recent upheaval that's happening in the whole global economy, then COVID and all of that, has created another moment for us to repurpose, to redesign, and to see, what is the big defining changes for us in the marketplace, what is the track we have, and then the whole area of AI and generative AI. I think that's another big factor which we think will make a big difference. And we have a team led by our chief scientist, Greg, 40-odd people just working on this for the last some time. So I think there are many new things in front. The world has to look at talent far more seriously. The whole area of decarbonization and the energy, you look at energy and climate change, that is throwing up other opportunities that we are looking at seriously and playing some role. So obviously, momentous period for all of us, mankind, I would say, momentous for us. And many
momentous indeed, Mr. Pawar. We've lived through a pandemic, we've lived through so much uncertainty, a couple of wars, and now we're talking about generative AI and decarbonization as well. Let's, hope that we prevail and grow through all these things. Talking about growth itself, the numbers that you've, aspired for, I presume that these are organic growth targets that you have. But you also have around 450 crores of cash on your books, and you've used the word growth capital a couple of times. Is inorganic growth a part of your plan as well? And if yes, what areas are you looking at?
Well, inorganic started with us very long back. So it's been very much part of the strategy. And the previous one, which was the very top-end consulting company, St. Charles, which is doing very well, is part of the activity. So, and such moments, I think, create more opportunities. So inorganic is very much in the flavor. And you do it perhaps to build more competencies. So the whole new decarbonization area is a new area, and we are looking at activities, we're making some small investments. So that's going to be very important. Gen AI talked about the fact that we have built very strong capability. Already we are doing work with it, so that's a discontinuity. But we keep looking. I think that's a part of our daily work, should we say. And that helps us shape the strategy, helps us sharpen our focus, helps us accelerate. So that's very much part of the approach.
All right. And finally, before we let you go, we said that we won't speak about the here and now because you're in the silent period. But just from a midterm, next 6 months to 12 months perspective, there is a fair amount of global uncertainty. You had said that there are delays in, clients approving their budgets to you. Has that seen a bit of easing out, or that pressure is likely to continue for foreseeable future, say 18 to 24 months from here?
I think you'll have to wait for a results board meeting, which is just a few days down. Won't be fair. But the challenges are there. I think we've talked about it. And the world has to cope with it. And as I said, within challenges, then we have to look for opportunities. So both things are happening, and when challenges come, you have to deal with the challenge, but more than that, you have a set of people seeing what's behind this. And we've fortunately seen in our 40 years at least 3 very significant discontinuities. And we can say when we look back that we came out stronger, and that's our intent even this time.
All right. Well, Mr. Pawar, we appreciate you joining in today. Wishing you all the best with the third listed entity, as you said. You have a lot of experience and seen a lot of turns and swirls to deal with. So wishing you all the best, and we look forward to chatting up with you after your numbers as well.
Well, Nigel, for most companies, being listed is a goal in its entirety.
Because you've been with us in this whole journey, so you know us better than many other people.
We've been with our viewers and your shareholders as well. But Nigel, what I was saying is that one company listing in one person's lifetime is great. He's seen 3 already.
Kudos to you. All right. Well, let's move on then.